We've collected a number of different materials that seem to match roughly the descriptions from our two witnesses. We're going to bring in each witness independently and see if they can positively ID the material they were handling back in 1947.
I got a handful of different metals here. We're starting off with 32,000s of magnesium. Same with steel, aluminum, also steel, but this isn't 5,000s. You can see it's quite flexible and flat. This is actually cardboard at 32,000 and 5,000s acetate with kind of an aluminum finish to it. And this is mylar, also with an aluminum film to it.
Earl, the first subject, is brought in to look at the materials.
Take a turn on each piece and tell me yes or no, does it look or feel like the piece of metal from 1947?
No. It's a little too thick.
Let's do the next one.
This one is too heavy. The color is close, but weight is too much.
Okay.
This material now was almost weightless.
Let's do the next one.
Too stiff. This one is closer, but it doesn't feel like I could fold it up. This one doesn't resemble it in any way. This one feels more like the material. The material we got, we could wad up and it would pop back just about like that's doing now.
This one you feel like the thickness is about right, the weight.
The thickness and the weight.
And the stiffness.
Makes chills run down my back.
And let's get this last one.
Definitely not.
You mentioned something that was really intriguing to me, which is this idea that you tried to crumple it up, put it back in your bag. Can you try actually doing it and see if you can get that same effect?
You got something there. That's definitely as close as what I've seen.
The acetate seems to be a close match for what Earl experienced. But according to the official Roswell report released in 1994, this type of acetate was not used in the construction of Project Mogul balloons. Only acetate tape was used, which bears no resemblance to the form of acetate being tested. But if a balloon didn't crash at Roswell, what did? Another eyewitness may confirm or deny the findings so far.
Well, we have one more witness, one of the most famous of the Roswell witnesses, Jesse Marcel Jr.
The night that my dad brought the material home, I looked at all this material on the floor. The first thing he said was, "Look at this, because you'll probably never see this again."
Now remember, this is a blind test, so let's not lead on about any of these early findings with Earl.
This is a sheet metal. Now what I saw was not really like a sheet metal, more like foil, so this is much too thick.
Too thick.
Now these are sheet metal. What I saw, the foil was not sheet metal. This is getting close to the feeling of the thickness of it. It was not as shiny as this, though. It was a little more dull than this, but this is closer to the actual thickness.
Let's have a look at this one last.
Okay. Now, this is very insubstantial. This is like a real thin foil. The foil that I saw was much thicker than this, but it actually had about the same weight, though. It was thicker, but about the same weight.
Almost weightless.
As this. It's almost weightless, like it'd float down like that in air.
Right.
But does the acetate also display the memory metal properties that Jesse's father described?
You want to try and crumple it?
Doesn't stay crumbled.
Is that what he described?
Yeah, this is basically what he described.